Let's move on though. Let's focus on Coromandel International. Well, that's the next management on the show. The margins came under pressure. Subsidy rates were lower. You had high raw material costs as well that impacted them. We have with us S Sankarasubramanian, the MD and CEO of Coromandel International, who joins us on the show. Hi, sir. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, you all have been indicating that your focus has been more on value-added products. So if you could tell us value addition as a percentage of your total mix, what is it? Where is it headed? And also on an EBITDA per ton, what was the number in the past quarter? And are you holding on to that guidance of around 4,500 rupees per ton?
Good morning. Thanks for talking to us. This quarter has been pretty good for Coromandel. It's been a very strong performance across business verticals, both in terms of volume growth, what we have registered, as well as in terms of operational efficiencies across the fertilizer plants and crop protection. In fact, if you look at the fertilizer segment, the volumes have grown by 13%. And specifically on the value addition, the last year we commissioned sulfuric acid plant, which is operating at full capacity in current year. And that has helped us to improve the cost structure on fertilizer. So in spite of not so good subsidy rates for the Kharif and also the input price pressures on raw materials, still we could turn around a significant quarter-on-quarter increase in both top lines and EBITDA margin. Specifically on the margins, what we talked about, we continue to focus on high margin unique grades in fertilizer. As you know, Coromandel is mainly focusing on NPK grades, which gives balanced nutrition for farmers. And we have been having our own range of unique grades, which we try and maximize. And the industry level, if you look at this quarter consumption, the NPK consumption has gone up by 1 million ton. And as against the generic DAP, just fallen considerably. And this space is what Coromandel operates and been promoting this balanced nutrition. And having our own set of unique grades also been helpful. And that has helped us to sustain the margins in spite of the cost pressure. And besides fertilizer, we have also done very well on the crop protection segment. Last year was a very soft quarter, and this year the pesticides has grown significantly well on top line as well as in terms of export performance.
All right, sir, but I was asking for two numbers. One is, as you were mentioning, value addition is something that you've been focusing on, and you're taking steps in that direction. So as a percentage of your mix, if there is a number that we can refer to, what is it, where is it headed? And that EBITDA per ton, normally you'll give us a guidance. In the first quarter, it was a little bit softish, but you said that for the year, you all will look at, I think, in the vicinity of around 4,500 to 5,000 rupees per ton. Do you stick on to that, or is it a little bit lower now?
No, absolutely. We should be able to sustain that. Coming specifically to your question on the unique grades, what we call the specialities, the range of specialities, what we have, the share has gone up from last year 35% to 40% now. So our share of unique grades have gone up this quarter. That has helped us. And also the value addition, what we make on our captive intermediates to reduce the cost structure also helping. And we should be able to sustain and improve on the EBITDA per ton on fertilizer, even though it's looking lesser compared to last year on quarter-on-quarter basis, but it's tracking well. Sequentially, if you compare with Q1, we have significantly improved, and we should be able to sustain this EBITDA per margin going forward as well.
So given all that you're saying, Mr. Subramanian, and you're sounding quite optimistic, I mean, should we expect, now I'm talking big, broad headline numbers, revenue and margin, because the first half has been really subdued for the company. Now, for the full year as a whole, what is the kind of revenue growth you can do, considering that you're quite confident on NPK and on the value-added side? So what is the full year revenue growth potential? And also, if you could just throw in a word on DAP as well. Our colleague tells us that apparently globally there's some shortage. Is that right? And how, I mean, would that sort of add any growth kicker for you?
See, fertilizer business, actually, we have grown on volume in 13%. In fact, to be precise, we have achieved a record volume of 13 lakh tons in Q2, and we improved our market share. What it was 15% last year, our market share has moved up to 20%. Sometimes the top line may be misleading because the commodity prices changes, and the top line in revenue absolute terms may not reflect that. But in terms of volume term, we have really grown well. Even in crop protection, we have grown the top line both in formulation business, where we have got new set of formulation products, and that has helped us to grow the domestic formulation business. Besides that, our export also has grown by 10%. So going forward with the buoyancy in the monsoon and the irrigation level, the reservoir levels are good, we do expect a very good Rabi season. So overall, we definitely gain the momentum in terms of fertilizer volume as well as in terms of our crop protection business. We expect crop protection business to grow at least by 10 to 15% on top line. Sometimes it may not be reflecting in terms of the value terms, that is because of the commodity prices. So we are very confident on the growth. Coming specifically,
No, so that's what I'm asking, sir.
DAP.
So we take your point on growth, but at the end, we're just trying to understand in terms of profitability, EBITDA, PAT, whether the full year picture will be better than what the first half has been. Volumes, we take your point that volumes are fine, but looking at commodities.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell you, while there has been subdued subsidy rates for the Rabi season, which has been announced, but commodity prices have spiked up. We do expect some sort of a challenge in the margin pressure on fertilizer, but it'll be much better than last year, where the Rabi has a real washout because of the monsoon situation. We should be able to catch up on volumes and productivity and our sourcing capability. We'll be able to sustain the margins in fertilizer. And crop protection, with the introduction of new molecules, we do expect improvement in the volume. So overall, in terms of top line as well as profitability, we are reasonably confident this year. And specific to your query on DAP, that availability has been a challenge because of the geopolitical situation, but we have been working closely with the government and improved the availability of DAP. Companies, specifically to Coromandel, we have increased the supplies of DAP to the markets where it is required. So I don't think there has been any shortage has been reported, and we could make it available. Actually, industry is moving towards more of balanced nutrition NPKs. The DAP is predominantly used in north markets, where also we have seen the farmers adapting to NPKs. And that is where now Coromandel is actually looking at the next stage of growth and come up with this investment opportunity.
We'll leave it there, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure, and good luck to you and your team as you continue to execute.